easier to bear as the servant of a priest than in the household of the king. You had better, however, mention to no one the rank you have borne, for it might be reported to the king, and then you might be sent for to the palace, unless indeed you would rather be a spectator of the pomp and gaiety of the court than a servant in a quiet household." "I would far rather remain with you, my lord," Amuba said eagerly. "You have already shown the kindness of your heart by granting my request, and choosing my comrade Jethro as my fellow slave, and I feel already that my lot will be a far happier one than I had ventured to hope." "Judge not hastily by appearances," the priest said. "At the same time here in Egypt slaves are not treated as they are among the wild peoples of Nubia and the desert. There is a law for all, and he who kills a slave is punished as if he took the life of an Egyptian. However, I think I can say that your life will not be a hard one. You have intelligence, as is shown by the fact that you have so rapidly acquired sufficient knowledge of our tongue to speak it intelligibly. Can you, too, speak our language?" he asked Jethro. "I can speak a little," Jethro said, "but not nearly so well as Amuba. My lips are too old to fashion a strange tongue as rapidly as can his younger ones." "You speak sufficiently well to understand," the priest said, "and doubtless will in time acquire our tongue perfectly. This is my house." The priest entered an imposing gateway, on each side of which stretched a long and lofty wall. At a distance of 50 yards from the gate stood a large dwelling, compared to which the royal abode which Amuba had been brought up in was but a miserable hut. Enclosed within the walls was a space of ground some 300 yards square, which was laid out as a garden. Avenues of fruit trees ran all round it, a portion was laid out as a vineyard, while separated from the rest by an avenue of palm trees was a vegetable garden. In front of the house was a large piece of water in which floated a gaily painted boat. Aquatic plants of all kinds bordered its edges. Graceful palms grouped their foliage over it, the broad flat leaves of lilies floated on its surface, while the white flowers which Amuba had seen carried in all the religious processions and by large numbers of people of the upper rank, and which he heard were called the lotus, rose above them. The two captives were struck with surprise and admiration at the beauty of the scene, and forgot for a moment that they were slaves as they looked round at a vegetation more beautiful than they had ever beheld. A smile passed over the countenance of the priest. "Perfect happiness is for no man," he said, "and yet methinks that you may in time learn at least contentment here." Chapter 4